welcome to the Museum of Tiny Failures TV. The inverted commas are really important in the description because clearly it's a Zoom call, you know, but it's sort of, I'm hoping, an interesting way to repurpose Zoom. So this is not the live show that I was going to be doing at the Brighton Festival in 2020. It's a tiny little bit of stuff that I'm pulling out from the research and turning into an interactive public game. So that's a little bit of a frame. I want to start by introducing our little team. I'd like to introduce Laura Mugridge. This is Laura. She's our special guest tonight. You're looking very beautiful, Laura. I love that dress.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I actually, not only have I put a nice dress on and brushed my hair, I've also got perfume on for the first time in 7 weeks.
Yeah, it's quite a thing, isn't it? Like getting yourself ready to see other people. It's something that we've not been doing. Yeah.
Oh, it's a bit of a waste, sort of, to wear perfume, but you know, I'm not using a lot of it. But Rachel, would you like to see what I looked like about 25 minutes ago?
Yeah.
So this is what my hair looks like naturally all of the time. I was growing it anyway, and it's just decided to grow upwards. There's been no downward growth at all. It just grows up and to the side. So I've just had to place it, just put it, but it might spring out at any moment.
That's a very satisfying picture to look at, and it's sort of on theme. So anytime you want to pop that picture back up, you're very welcome.
Right. If I'm feeling shy, I'll just put that up.
Great. So we're going to hear a lot more from Laura in a second, but the other really important person I want to introduce you to is Andrew Cain. So this is Andrew Cain. Do you want to say something, Andrew?
Hello.
Something even a large, could you kind of bring yourself up? So Andrew is our tech host. He's going to help us with any questions we've got around Zoom. And if you're panicking or there's something you can't do, just send him a little message in the chat. And yeah. How are you doing, Andrew?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah, looking forward to it. I'm all on palette.
You are very on palette.
So I'm pleased about that. Do you want to see what I look like? I just quickly got this together. Do you want to see what I looked like 20 minutes ago?
Yeah, sure.
So I had to quickly change.
Did you just organise that a moment before?
Come on, now I've completely changed.
That's a good joke. I hope you find another opportunity to use it. Okay, so before we get into the belly of it, I'd really love to hand you over to Andrew so that he can set you up to use Zoom, because there's a couple of people who we know from emails would really like some help. So Miranda Flemming has asked for some tech support for Andrew because she can't find the bottle opener. Anyway, over to you, Andrew. Do you want to just give him a bit of a whistle-stop tour?
Yeah, I guess most of you are pretty familiar with Zoom, but just a quick run through. So if you look at the top right of your screen, you'll see it's like 9 little dots or one big dot, which is gallery or speaker view. So if you have a little play with that, if you click on speaker view, you'll just see me because I'm talking at the moment. If you click on gallery, if you tap it again, it goes to gallery view and you can see everybody. So that's kind of nice, like depending on what you want to see. Second thing, some people have already found it, which is in the chat. Which is quite nice if you want to respond. Rachel might ask you a question or two. So if you see the speech bubble at the bottom of your screen, you tap on that speech bubble, and how about you write in the chat one thing that you've enjoyed today. Mike Damiano has already said hi, so you can follow Mike with just type in something you've enjoyed today. Mike's enjoyed sunny weather, champagne, Fish Friday.
Who is drinking champagne, fancy pants?
Shall we bake or pudding? Oh, big
Oh,
spoon of
bacon.
Nutella.
Just one spoonful. That's very reserved.
Wild swimming. Oh, I'd love to do a bit of that. Yeah, great.
Well, I love
It
the
looks like most
variety.
people know
Everything
how to
from
use
reading a
that.
book of poetry to champagne and breakfast.
Looks like most people know how to use that function.
Quite a
And
lot of alcohol involved, which I'm enjoying.
is there anything
Yeah.
else about the, just in case people don't know how to use that, I'm getting the sense most people use Zoom all the time, but just in case, the video function and the mute function?
That's, yeah, going to do that. So, yeah, bottom left of your screen, you'll see there's, it looks like a microphone and it says mute. So at the moment it's put for, it will be red with a line through it. That means that you're muted. And if you want to talk later, we'll put you in little groups. If you want to talk, you click on that and it goes white and then you can speak. And if you're feeling very shy, you can click on the button next to it, which says stop video, and you'll disappear. So you just get a blank screen. And yeah, something we might use later, because there's lots of you. When Rachel asks a question, if you like wave your hand, I might not be able to see you, but what you can do is raise your hand electronically. So let's just have a quick go at that. If you tap on the participants button at the bottom of the screen, tap on that. And you'll see
Yeah, everyone's
about
got it.
halfway down, there's a blue hand. So you can tap on that blue hand and then I can see who's got their hand up and you'll be able to interact then.
Brilliant.
I think that's it, really.
Yeah. Thanks, Andy. Thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Yeah, feel free to ask a question in the chat and Andrew will respond if you need to, and we don't catch it in the session.
Yeah, any questions or life advice, just put it in the chat.
You have to put your hand down. It looks like I've still got my hand up and I'm being asked if I want to lower my hand. I'm going to lower my hand. There we go.
It's okay.
Okay, so I've been a bit obsessed with failure for several years. I'm a self-confessed perfectionist in recovery. And I think of it a little bit like being an alcoholic. It's something I kind of never will get over, but it's something that I've got to set stuff up around me to sort of manage so I can manage it. And perfectionism reveals itself in weird little ways, like in the Wes Anderson colour palette that I insisted on with the team, and I was quite anal about, sort of anal little things, but it used to come out in much less graceful ways. And like some of you might know from the blurb of the live show, you aren't doing it wrong if no one knows what you're doing. I come from a family of high achieving classical musicians and suffered like perplexing, like crippling self-doubt, and that, so I've been fascinated by this theme of failure and how to get to a place where I can start to think of failure as an opportunity or a creative opportunity. Yeah. So I thought I'd start with a story before I bring Laura in, to just really, in a moment, we're going to be asking Laura to put herself on the line and risk trying out a creative task that she is highly likely to fail at. And the invitation is that she does it with 150% commitment and as much enjoyment as possible. And we're going to sort of work towards that. I'm going to reveal what the challenges are in a sec. But I don't feel like I can, in all integrity, ask Laura to risk feeling like an idiot in front of 100 strangers unless I'm prepared to allow myself to look a bit vulnerable and potentially really silly in front of you too. So just to sort of wade a little gently, sort of dip my toe in the shallow end of the pool. The first story I want to share is, some of you might have heard this because it's ended up in one of my shows years ago, but it's painfully true still. It's still uncomfortable. So this is an example of something that went wrong that I found so deeply humiliating and upsetting that it stayed with me for most of my life. Like it's still, I can feel it still inside me. And that's when it's a 12-year-old, so I was 12 years old. And I had this crush on this boy called Jason Harvey, who was 2 years older than me. He was 14. And my self-image as a 12-year-old was extremely awkward. So I wasn't allowed to wear a bra, but I'd grown breasts, and I had an awful haircut. It's a really kind of frumpy haircut, and I also had to, perhaps most painfully, I had to go to school in these horrible, really sensible school shoes, and everybody else got to wear trainers. And I had a Globite school bag. If there's any Australians in the audience, you would have heard of these bags. They're a bit like suitcases. So everyone else had like sacks and kind of cool bags, and I had a fucking suitcase, like a briefcase, like really tough, hard plastic briefcase that was dark brown, like the worst. And I just didn't think anyone could even, I didn't think I was visible at all. And I didn't think Jason Harvey even knew I existed. But one day I was walking home from school, and he turned up, and I don't know where he seemed to come out of nowhere. And in my mind's, like at the time I thought he was really cool, but looking back, he like had crazy afro hair and an open Hawaiian shirt and open-toed Jesus style sandals. And I thought it was so fucking hot. And and so he turned up anyway, and he said, would you, Rachel, like he knew my name, he said, Rachel, would you like to go out with me to the movies or something? And I froze, like I went properly into fight or flight, and I couldn't talk, and I couldn't move, and I couldn't think of any way out of it. And so what I did was I bashed him as hard as I could in the shins with my briefcase, and I walked away, and I never looked back. And I was, my cheeks were like red, and I was like, my eyes were smarting, and I was so charged up, and I just couldn't look back at him. And then I had to go through all of high school with him still 2 years above me, you know, like I had to run into him all the fucking time, and it still feels really charged for me to talk about it. It's so interesting that I could have let myself down so spectacularly. But yeah, so this thing of failure and humiliation versus failure, and being able to soften a bit around it and let yourself feel like an idiot. Let myself feel like, if I can let myself feel like an idiot, then there's a risk I might be able to digest it a bit and kind of learn from it and just make it useful, make it a kind of creative opportunity. So that's where this idea of feeling ridiculous comes from. And one of the things that's happening in the live show is we're asking some of our team about a time they felt ridiculous. So I thought, just to kind of warm the room up, because it's always good if someone else gets to share first before you get asked to. And I'm not going to ask anyone to out themselves. You don't have to out yourselves in this call. But what I will request is, I'm going to ask Andrew to share a story about a time he felt ridiculous. And he's deliberately told me, he said, I'm going to do a complete surprise. He doesn't know what he hasn't planned what he's going to say. I don't know if that's to surprise me or all of you guys, or him, I don't know. But I thought, while he's thinking of what he wants to say, I thought it might be interesting if you guys reflect on what you might say if you were asked that question. And if you like, if you fancy it, you can throw down into the chat. If it was like in the Daily Mail or in some kind of tabloid press, the headline news of a time you felt ridiculous. It could be professionally ridiculous or just ridiculous. Throw it down into the chat. So like, for example, hit the boy of my dreams in the legs with my briefcase, or something like that might be my headline news. So yeah, that's a little activity you can get on with whilst we ask Andrew to reflect on a time he felt ridiculous. Andrew.
Yeah, so you asked me this just before, and the thing that popped to my mind was it's like a small thing but quite pointy. I was in Japan, so I taught English in Japan, and I just arrived, and I was like, really trying to like be really open to you know, different culture and very non-judgmental and so on. And I didn't speak any Japanese at that point. My host didn't speak much English, but he came around and said, "Oh, you know, do you want to come round for dinner?" And I said, "Yeah, that'd be great." And then his English wasn't great, and he said, "You like dog?" And I like kind of paused slightly, and I was like, and I just tried to be being really open. I said, "I don't know. I've never tried it." And and then she said, "No. We have a dog." And I was just wondering if you minded having a dog there. And I just reflect on that moment because it just was all my, just me covering up my embarrassment and confusion and my politeness and not showing what was going on. And yeah, so I remember that now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. It's like this fertile territory in which it could go either way, couldn't it? Like you could have been mortified, but something it was softer than that for you, I guess. Can I read some of these headline news? Make spectacular ass of myself in front of my favourite author Douglas Adams twice. Preteen girl wets herself on the Rolf Harris show. Man gets electric fence shock showing off sheep shearing. Man breaks own leg at own birthday party. Picked up the wrong person from reception at the BBC and didn't notice for about 20 minutes until she looked really confused when I started to brief her on an illustration project. There's some great ones there. Keep checking them out. If you think of them as we go, you can just throw them into the chat for other people to enjoy. And there's something about if I share my story, then it feels like it's okay to share yours. You know, that it's like it's a lot less acute and painful. Told my one-legged colleague who came to work unhappy with a new haircut, "Don't worry, it's not a leg, it will grow back." Oh shit, that's hard to come back from, isn't it? Oh shit, Masha. Yeah. Okay, so I think it might be time to introduce our special guest. Laura, are you there?
I am very much here, wearing perfume and all ready. I'm so ready.
And everything.
I am. The leg story just made me remember that I once tried to scratch off someone's birthmark. I was really embarrassed.
Oh, that's really embarrassing.
And they went, that's my birthmark. And then I went, oh, no, I know that. I was just trying to take something off just next to it. Oh, God. I'd forgotten that until just now. So thanks for bringing that screaming back.
So welcome, Laura. We've got a couple of questions that we want to ask you before we throw you into the task tonight.
Great.
But I thought what might be good to start with, just for the audience, so it can kind of be brewing in your mind and the audience's mind, is what the tasks are. So, and a little bit of the idea of where the task came from. So I seeded 3 tasks in this community group that I set up called the Museum of Tiny Failures, which is basically an environment where people can share stuff that happens, a little bit like the things that you're writing in the chat. People can share shit that goes wrong that is a little bit out of their control. It's not the end of the world, but it kind of relieves the pressure of it being a thing, you know? So it's like a community service group, really. And so I put these questions at the creative challenge to the group. And I put 3 in there and the rest of them come from the group. So I thought, does it feel nice, Laura, to begin with a little introduction for you, and then I'll share the creative challenges?
Yeah, the longer we can put off me knowing what the challenges are, the better, I think.
Okay, so to begin with, I'd love to know a little bit about what you're doing that you're really enjoying in your life at the moment. So what's bringing you alive right now?
I was going to say that I've been enjoying doing jigsaws, but I haven't. I've been doing jigsaws and having an absolutely dreadful time. I hate jigsaws. I'm never going to buy one ever again. I'm locked down with a friend of mine and my 7-year-old son, and we got some jigsaws to do, and I after the last one, at 1,000 pieces, I did 2 pieces. But then made sure I took a picture of myself pointing to the jigsaw when it was done. So I don't feel like I really helped with that one.
You got all the credit, but you didn't actually have to do.
Totally, absolutely. I was like, we did it together. I did 998 of the pieces. I hate it. It's really stressful, and I can't see where shapes go, which it turns out is one of the key things about doing jigsaws. What I am enjoying is I planted some seedlings. Like, I grew some in my flat. I haven't got a garden or anything, but I've got like a little fire escape that I can put seeds on, and I planted some basil and some rocket and some spring onions and some potatoes, and I'm on the 5th floor, so there's 80 stairs up to my flat, and there are not really any trees anywhere nearby, and a bloody squirrel has somehow made its way up 80 stairs or jumped an extraordinary distance from a tree and just ripped everything. Everything is gone. It's gone. And I've seen it 3 times now, and I've shouted at it every time. It keeps coming back. Everything's gone. Months of work has gone.
What a little shit. What a little shit.
Right? And that's what I shouted at it out of the window. I was furious, but that makes me sound like I'm having a breakdown and not like I'm having a very nice lockdown. I'm also really enjoying cooking, but I'm also spending 85% of my time washing up.
I think
Shame.
Enjoying yourself breakdown is a bit of a fine line at this time, actually.
Yes, it's all very close together. Like, yeah, I was totally fine the other day, and then I dropped a sock, and then I just sat on the floor and had a big cry. So, it's very, very on the edge. Very on the edge at the moment.
Oh.
Fine.
Oh, woman spills coffee over keynote conference speaker 5 minutes before her talk.
Right, where I once spilled coffee all over. I met a boyfriend's parents for the first time and spilled coffee all over their cat. Very expensive, very long-haired cat. So that's again, I hadn't thought about that until now. It's all coming back.
Good to bring these memories back.
Right.
And Laura, would you mind telling us something? It doesn't really matter what category this is, but something you're known for, or what some people might know you for.
I think, I like making theatre for unusual spaces to be like performed for small audiences. And I made a show in 2010 in a camper van. And then I've kind of gone on to make more pieces like up the top of hills, and I did a stand-up gig at the top of a hill in Kendal once. That was really nice. I'm also, I think, known for having a really ridiculous son. He is 7, and
you've been doing the photo series, haven't you?
Yeah, so I saw this really cool Australian photographer on Twitter who was doing like block colour palette pictures of her family, and I was like, I could do that. I've got loads of colours in my house. So me and my son and my lockdown housemate decided to do some of our own. So Andrew, I think you've got a picture that I sent to you. We did the rainbow. So this is what we did. So this is all stuff I found in my house, and basically my son just stares with the cold dead eyes of a serial killer while we just balance stuff on him. And he seems absolutely fine about that. And then he was getting more attention than anyone else, so I did a little I just put that together, which makes me so happy. Look, I mean, there's no emotion there. He said, "Mummy, please can I smile on the next one?" I was like, absolutely not, you'll ruin it. So yeah, that's my, I made that face.
I think that's really awesome. You're getting a lot of awesome in the chats too, Laura. Could we just go back one frame? Can we have a look at the other picture for a sec?
Yeah, look at their cold dead eyes.
Look at that. Look, is that your flatmate wearing your lampshade?
Yeah, it is. That's and this is the dress in the yellow.
Oh my goodness, yes.
In the yellow picture, my son is actually carrying quite a lot of very heavy cookbooks. That's quite a weight he's carrying there.
These are great.
My favourite is in the blue picture, he's holding a bottle of Harvey's Bristol Cream Sherry.
appropriate.
Which I enjoy. Yeah, almost empty. It'll be empty soon.
So I think it'd be a really good time. They're so beautiful, Laura. I think it'd be a really good time to read the challenges out.
Okay, come on.
So I'm going to employ like a television trope here and okay. Scrolling credits.
Yeah, go for it.
So Andrew, could we have some background music? I believe that we got a special local composer, Englebert Humperdump, to make some music for us to play along with the rolling credits technique.
We do indeed.
There we go. Ready?
Okay.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
I was worried we'd run out of music for a bit there. Hang on. That's a long one. If you could,
okay.
Music. Do you need us to repeat any, Laura, or do you want to kind of whittle them down? Is there any that feel like they're a bit more likely to be chosen, or you want to?
They all make me want to be sick. I know that's why I'm here. So.
Oh, that's awkward laughter on my part there. Sorry, I just need to interrupt you and let you know that the author of the music. A friend of the author of the music just sent a text saying on the chat that it's actually Englebert Humper Honk.
Sorry, Mr. Humper Honk. Very sorry.
Because he's very good friends with him. So thanks,
okay.
thanks, Toby.
Thank you, Mr. Humper Honk. Well, so they all make me want to A, vomit, B, question my career, but my career's kind of gone now anyway because of coronavirus. So so the one that feels the easiest, I'm not going to do it because I'm deliberately pushing myself to do something that feels horrific.
Yeah.
Is the mind reading. I feel like because I could do it, but I feel like I could probably stumble through it. So I'm not going to do that one. Contemporary.
Sorry.
Go on. There you go.
It's really interesting, isn't it? Because that for me sounds awful. I wouldn't want to do the mind reading one. No flipping way.
I don't want to do it, but I feel
it
like
sounds like a tree that's found its feet any day.
Yeah. No, that makes me feel even more poorly. The contemporary dance one makes me anxious just because I don't have very far to go, and also I worry that you would basically just see breasts. So I'm going to not do that one.
Okay. Which one feels like the most frightening? I'm not saying you have to choose that, but just if you...
The one that does feel the most frightening that I am going to do is I'm going to create a symphony orchestra crap in my house, just because I've got a lot of crap in my house. As you've seen from those photos. So I feel like I have swift access to crap.
Excellent.
And everyone seems like, from the faces I can see, everyone feels really friendly. There's some faces I can't see. Those might be horrific, judgmental faces, but I can't see them. So I don't need to worry about them.
That's a good way of thinking about it.
Yeah. So I'm presuming that anyone who's hidden their face has a horrific, judgmental face. So thank you for that.
That was the last one I showed, wasn't it? So
yeah.
So make a symphony orchestra out of things in your kitchen and play Stravinsky's Rite of Spring or anything from Stockhausen's back catalogue.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you here, Rachel. I don't know either of those. I don't know.
They're composers,
I don't know, and I don't know Stockhausen. Can you describe it to me so I can get a flavour of what I'm dealing with, please?
Yeah. Do you want me to sort of like sing a little bit or something, or?
Describe it. Don't
Okay.
no, because then
that's telling you how to do it. So it's like it's very angular. It's like contemporary classical from the 20th century.
Right.
Both composers. Stockhausen's very like angular, like difficult listening hour.
So the kind of music that makes me incredibly anxious.
Yeah, yeah.
Great. Thanks, Rachel.
Yeah. If you think about exactly not the music you'd put on if you were trying to relax.
So if you were feeling a bit nervous and you had 120 people on Zoom in your living room, the kind of music that would make it so much worse.
Exactly. We'd play you some, except there's a copyright issue.
Okay, I see. Well, I mean, I'm worried that I'll do it so accurately that we might have to pay extra, but let's find out. I'm scanning my house for crap. There's so much.
Well, I just thought, well, maybe I'll make you feel better by showing you. So, on Zoom, how we kind of curate our space a bit and try and make it look a bit nice.
I don't know what you mean, Rachel. I live in a perfectly pristine house.
Yeah, well, I'm going to show you what's beside me so that I think it'll help you feel a little bit better about. So look, nice.
Lovely, nice. Oh yeah, that's nonsense. Yeah. I'm very close.
Better?
I'm extremely close to some bins.
Excellent. Great. Quite a lot of bins. I've also got a bike lock and that. I don't know what that is, but the sorts there.
Right. So when should I go and get things?
No, not yet. I've got one more question for you. I want that to just stew in the background. So you've chosen your thing.
It really make me like just panic about it. This is good. No, it's good.
Well, I hoped it might help you take your mind off it a little bit.
No, but thank you. But I appreciate that.
So I've got another question for you, and I have to ask this question because I've asked everyone in the whole thing. So no, it's not date night music. Someone wrote.
Date night. Well, it might be. It depends on how I play it.
Oh, I don't know. You'd be really hard pressed to make Stockhausen date music. Anyway.
Well, everyone's into different things, and then maybe the way I play it will be incredibly romantic. We don't know yet. Okay,
great. So, I'm curious about a time, if you'd be willing to share, about a time that you felt professionally ridiculous, or just ridiculous will do if you can't think of a professional ridiculousness.
Oh, so, yeah. There's a few professionally ridiculous times that spring to mind, and they both involve crouching.
Okay.
Weirdly. So there was one where I did a show, it was with a lovely musician friend of mine. We made a show together, so proud of it, lovely, really great show. And the audience went mad for it, and it was really exciting. And then we bowed, and then they clapped again, so we bowed, and it was very exciting. And then we went off backstage, but we turned the wrong way, and so we ended up essentially trapped in a space. Like the wall was here, the wall that was the back of the theatre, and the back curtain was like here, so we both had to stand like this. We had to have our heads on the side like this, and we had to wait for the whole audience to leave. And like the whole show was really relaxed. It was all like, hey guys, this is just us doing what we do. Like we totally could have gone, ha, look, we're trapped behind the curtain, but we didn't. We stuck with it for like 15 minutes, just standing like this, like not wanting to make an imprint on the curtain. Ridiculous. Also, another time I was hired, I don't remember why or how this happened, but I was hired to do a puppet show, an off-brand Disney puppet show for the 3-year-old daughter of a Saudi Arabian prince. I can't remember how this happened, but they couldn't use Disney puppets because they didn't have the copyright, because Disney are quite funny about it. And so they turned the bottom, this guy's basement in London, it was huge, into like a Disney Wonderland with all these like really pointy nose, like off-brand Mickey Mouse. And it was all so expensive. There was caterers, there was like ice sculptures, all for this one 3-year-old. And so we had to crouch in the puppet booth ready with our puppets. And then she came like 2 steps out of her bedroom, freaked out, and then just didn't come out. But we weren't allowed to come out of the booth until she came down. So we were in there for like 3.5 hours. We weren't allowed to get out. We were only allowed to go to the toilet once, and we had no water or food. We just had to like crouch in this tiny little booth. And I was like, what, this, like the careers advisor never mentioned this. This is not a job. It's not a real job. So yeah, both involve like small spaces, crouching, and this.
Yes. Oh, thank you for sharing that.
It's all right. Again, I'd forgotten about it, but it's all come screaming back.
Someone I've just read, woman goes for a wee in a field as Channel 4 news helicopter lands.
That's a shame. That is a shame.
That's really brilliant.
I once woke up with the exact imprint, like the total imprint of an iPhone charger on my bottom.
Oh, that ended up in the Museum of Tiny Failures.
Well, that's on the internet, guys. You can have a look at that.
Yeah. Hang on. Ben Noble said, I live live on the radio. I introduced a rapper, MC Pinty, like MC, as McPinty, like McDonald.
Perfect.
It's a bit more diminutive, isn't it? It sort of reduces him.
Pinty.
His gangster style somewhat.
Lovely.
Okay, so I bet he didn't like it. Laura, are you ready now for do you think you're ready as anyone can be to do something as stupid as you're about to do?
Yeah, can you give me like 2 minutes to just go and gather some musical crap?
Yeah, sure, okay.
Sorry, to gather my instruments.
Sure, take your time and see you in 2 minutes.
Okay.
2 minutes enough time? I won't time you, just come back.
Ideally, I need a couple of weeks, but yeah, 2 minutes is fine.
You got 2 minutes.
Okay.
And Andrew, whilst Laura's getting ready, you said, so look, Andrew told me yesterday that he has an electric piano, like a synthesizer. Do you, could you show us, Andrew? Have you got that?
I do indeed. I can't play it. It's actually my partner's.
That's appropriate.
Yeah.
Right.
But here it is.
So I thought like it might be fun if you played some, like, while Laura's getting ready, you could do a little bit of a music.
Thing.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, I thought it might be in the spirit of the occasion. So what I need is a number between 1 and 23, which will determine the style of it. You could perhaps someone could
Toby Park's asking if you've got anything by Englebert.
Laura says 8 was the first one. Let's go with the first one.
Let's go with the first, yeah.
So that's number 8. So it's a rock-a ballad. Rock-a.
Oh.
I just need to do something with my microphone. Okay, here we go.
It's really we can't hear anything, Andrew. Oh no, is that a rock ballad? Beautiful. Beautiful. That's amazing. Do we want to, is Laura, are you ready, Laura, or can we have one more song from Andrew?
I'd really like another song from Andrew, just because it was so calming.
Okay, Laura, why don't you pick a number between 1 and 23, but not 8?
I'd like 18, please, Andrew.
18.
Oh, Susan's chosen 18 too. All right, hit us.
Okay, so 18 is Samba.
Oh,
Okay.
Lovely.
this will be a bit more like Englebert Humper Honk.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Humper Honk. That's
just wrapping up the rock ballad there.
Oh, I love it.
Can't hear anything.
Andrew just rocking out by himself. What's happened? What's happened to Andrew? The samba. Oh, the samba has gone. Andrew, the samba's gone. People are going to have to start singing their own samba. He doesn't like samba.
I don't know what's happened there.
Andrew, could you please sing some samba for me, please, to calm me down?
You can't say no.
I don't know what happened there. It was amazing.
I bet
it was so good.
Well, it's like it's almost on brand for Tiny TV.
Never mind. But Andrew, just because Laura asked you to do something, and in this world we have to say yes. So could you please sing a little bit of the samba?
Sorry, Andrew.
The samba?
Yeah, just a little bit.
I'm trying to deflect.
How do I sing a samba? God, I'm going to try the thing on here.
Okay.
My musical knowledge is very low. Oh!
That'll do. Love
I'll do this. Okay then.
That's lovely.
Beautiful.
How's that?
Beautiful, beautiful.
I didn't sing it, but yeah.
No, I don't think. I think that was incredible.
No, I think there's not much could improve upon it.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I can't think of anything that could improve upon it except seeing Laura Mugridge play some Stockhausen with her symphony. Are you ready to go, Laura?
I mean, yeah. I have a small request.
Yeah.
Could everyone just make their faces look as non-judgmental as possible, please? Thank you. Thank you, thank you everyone. Thank you, Harry. Thank you, Harry.
Laura, could I ask you, are you going to provide yourself with a beginning and a middle and an end, or would you like me to do that for you?
Of course.
You are? Yeah, being the consummate professional. Yeah, great. Okay, cool.
You ready? Are we all ready?
Yeah.
This is what we're all here for, right? Okay.
Could we see your instruments?
Yeah, well, what I'll do is I'll hold them up and I'll you'll see them, and maybe I'll explain them as I play them, or maybe no. Okay, ready?
Yep.
That's the end. That's the end. Thank you, everyone.
Very much.
Thank you.
Hey.
Very Stockhausen.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. My parents will be so pleased they paid for me to go to university to do
Rachel Blackman said that considering you've never heard of Stockhausen, that's pretty authentic. Genuinely in the spirit of... Oh, hang on. Could we unmute Laura? There we go.
I hope everyone's in the mood for romance now after that.
Yeah, I think the cheese grater might have been one of my favourites too, Kathy.
No, there's a few things.
And the penguins.
There's a few things I didn't use. I didn't use the toilet paper because I thought it would be too triggering. And I didn't use. I was going to flick this horrible histories book, but that didn't feel right.
Yeah.
I also had some Gaviscon I was going to shake, but I think I achieved the same sound with the Sultan Factor 50.
I think you did. Yeah, and a little more interactive perhaps, because you got to use your hand and then do a lovely improvisational,
Incredibly greasy hands now.
Yes. Now, what was your favourite bit of that? What was the thing you enjoyed the most?
When it finished, that was good. I also really enjoyed.
Yeah, Arts Council England will fund that, wrote Debs.
I enjoyed this because this has been making that noise for the last, I'm going to say 6 months.
Yeah.
I found it, and I didn't know where it was or what the noise was coming from. I found it today.
Right.
So every so often, an area of my house would roar, and I wouldn't know why. And now I know. And this is going in the bin.
Well done. After it's performed its feat.
After it's performed, yeah. I'm also very pleased with the note that this made.
Yeah.
I
really enjoyed listening to it. There's something really beautiful about listening to it.
I did happen to see somebody I do know with his head in his hands. So that's always the response you want from a friend. So that's, I feel like I've done well here.
Okay, so we're coming to the end of the session. We've actually gone a little bit over time, but we did say the room would be open till 8:30, so we can stretch it a little bit. Thank you so much, Laura, for daring to do that.
Okay.
Thank you for daring to do that. And such a beautiful spirit and open heart and joy.
Rachel.
Yeah.
Can I set you a small challenge as well, please?
Just well, I feel like I kind of have to say yes, don't I?
Yeah, you do.
Okay, yes.
Okay, great. So I would like you to express how this Zoom call has felt to you, but only using your arms.
Okay, so like a dance.
Like a dance, but an arm-based dance.
Okay.
And you also allowed to use facial expressions.
Okay. Okay, right. Well, shall I provide my own beginning, middle and end?
Unless you need me to get the bell out again. But I think, no, it's up to you. It's up to you. I'm really
Thanks very much. Thank you very much.
Great.
Thank you very much. It was very excruciating. That was excruciating.
Horrible, isn't it?
Absolutely horrible. Okay, so we're coming to the end of our session now, and I want to thank all of you guys for turning up. what I'd like to invite you to do is, if you know anyone who really wanted to come but couldn't, because there were a lot of people who emailed saying they wanted tickets after they'd gone, there's very likely to be, with a few days pause, there'll be a video recording of it on the Tiny Failures YouTube and the Brighton Festival YouTube, hopefully. So you can have a look at it there. And what I'd really like is to capture the some of the ridiculous stories, the little headline newses, into some kind of document. So I might see if I can work out how to put that on the Tiny Failures website. So thank you everybody for being so generous with your stories and so willing to share your stories. And if you didn't, thanks for turning up and enjoying everybody else's. And thank you for making such an effort with your beautiful Wes Anderson colour scheme. Thank you so much. Thank you, Laura Mugridge, our special guest.
So welcome.
Andrew Cain, our technician and resident band.
Pleasure.
Round of applause to all of you for being so brilliant. Thanks very much. And thank you to the Brighton Festival for having us. Thank you. I've got some really lovely stuff on the...
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.